After months and months of my 8-year-old begging me, I have finally relented and let her stop swimming lessons. She can swim absolutely fine. The only thing that was stopping her from moving up was her inability to do a roly-poly. So I'm not too fussed, but that does mean that I feel the need to keep up the practice and take her swimming every week or every couple of weeks. But that means getting into a swimming costume. Now, I have had great difficulty finding a swimming costume that fits me well, supports me, and makes me feel just a little bit confident. It's never going to be something that I'm going to feel super confident in anyway, but we do our best. So a conversation that we had in the ThreadySetGo live guest event back in February, we had Emma from Cinnamon Daisy, Laura from the Specky Seamstress, and Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. And we were talking about the poppy dress that I made a couple of months ago. And Laura had said that she was planning to use the bodice to make a stretch garment. And then the conversation went on from there. How good would it be as a swimming costume? Now, Laura has actually shared in the forum that she did use the pattern to make a swimming top, and that is what I am going to try and do today. So this is the poppy pattern and it is stunning. I love the dress that I made. I wear it loads. It is very, very fitted. In fact, it has 0 ease across the bust. So it is designed for woven fabrics to have 0 ease. So it is very well fitted across the bust, so much so that a lot of people have been able to wear it without a bra. So I'm thinking this is probably quite a good base for a swim top. Now, I'm not going to turn it into a full swimming costume because I want to set myself up for some success here. I do have a pair of swim bottoms, bikini bottoms that I'm very happy with. They're high-waisted and have a lovely ruching detail across the stomach. So those are fine, but I don't have a top to wear. So over the years, I have purchased a few swimming costumes, hoping that they would hold the magic formula. Sadly, none of them did. However, what that has given me is fabric to play with. So this one is a swim top. This is the one that I'm going to use to make a toile. The fabric's okay. It's not super fantastic quality and it's much stretchier than the other one. So this is the one that I'm going to start with. This swimming costume, I was actually really gutted that this wasn't going to work. I got sold hard on this one on an Instagram post. Some influencers were sharing it. It's from a company called Meat Curve. It still has the label attached. The fabric is gorgeous. It's a really, really lovely quality. And it did have a lot of potential, but I think it was too short in the body. So this V here is supposed to sit here, but it ends up down here, pushes everything down with it. Absolutely 0 support, but the fabric is gorgeous. So I'm hoping this is going to be the final one. So the bodice has an upper bust panel, an under bust panel, and a waist panel. And then the back, if you were making it in a woven fabric, you can either do a zip panel in the center back or an elastic back panel. So I've gone for the zip back panel piece, but I'm going to cut that out on the fold, omitting the zip completely. And the other thing I've done, I've traced off the bodice pattern pieces, and based on what Laura wrote in the forum, she said she reduced all the side seams by 2 inches, which feels like quite a lot, but this fabric is very, very stretchy. I am slightly concerned that this one might go see-through. If there is enough fabric to construct a lining from it as well, we should be good. So I've gone for it with reducing the side seams on every single piece by 2 inches, which seems like a lot because we've got 2 inches on this side at the front, 2 inches on this side at the back, and then same again. So that's 8 inches overall. I think I've made a mistake. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to see what happens. Obviously, this is a toile. This is an experiment. So let's see what happens. Okay, that first one is cut out, and this is what we have left, as well as this bust piece, which I couldn't really use at this stage. It was actually trickier to cut it all out than I thought it was going to be. There was a little bit of pattern Tetris that I needed to do, and it does mean there's not enough fabric to create the lining, which gives me a little cause for concern that I might not have as much fabric as I thought with the swimming costume to create the lining, but it does have lining fabric, and perhaps I could repurpose, if this one works, I could repurpose it to be the lining as well. Mia is coming home from her martial arts class in a minute because she's swapped swimming for martial arts and she's loving it. So I'm going to go and get dinner on the go, and tomorrow we'll crack on with sewing. This is going to take a little bit more thinking through than I originally thought. So I have the toile. As you can see, the straps were much too long and there is zero support in the fabric as it is. I added some elastic that I cut out of one of the swimming costumes, and I put that on the waist panel. If I'm going to do that, I think I need to put it above the waist panel, so on the underbust instead, so it sits literally right underneath my bust. I haven't lined it, obviously. I think the lining will add some support, and this fabric, like I said, is much more structured than this one is. So what I'm gonna do, I think with the lining, I definitely need to add some kind of band underneath, possibly a little pocket for these kind of foam cups. I don't usually enjoy these foam cups because they are never in the right place on ready to wear swimming costumes. Maybe it will be better on my own. I've got to go and pick Mia up from school now, but tonight I have one of my online sewing socials with ThreadySetGo, so I'm going to spend tonight, whilst I'm chatting, unpicking as much of this as I can. If I can, now I already think I'm being too ambitious, but I really like these sleeves on this one. So it'd be quite nice to keep these sleeves somehow. Yeah, I'm going to unpick everything. I'm going to see if I can even unpick the elastic, because there's swimwear elastic inside the neckline of this one, and it's really nice and sturdy. So that might also help add some support too. This absolutely might not work out in my favour, but at least then you might be able to take from my experiences and either change it or just don't do it altogether. So we'll see. It's an experiment. Okay, last night on the social, I didn't get as far as I wanted to because I was too busy chatting, but I did cut up this swimsuit and I removed the lining. The lining was only in the front, so now I've got to try and fit the patterns onto here. Now, because the poppy pattern, if I show you the upper bust piece, sits like that. So that's the center front, which is on the fold. So it goes like that rather than like that. And it's too wide for this swimsuit. So what I am thinking, this is a little trickier than I thought it was going to be, and is proof that I should never enter the Great British Sewing Bee, because the upcycling challenge I would really, really struggle with. So this fits me width-wise. So I'm thinking if I reduce the width of the pattern pieces even more to make them fit, it could work. It could really, really not work, but it could work. And hey, if it doesn't work, we haven't lost anything. We have just gained experience, right? So I have a few pieces of lining. This one has a band attached halfway down, which would be really useful to keep for sort of the underbust. And I also am wondering, because I like to make my life even harder, do you see how we've got this little pocket where the foam cups go? If I can somehow insert foam cups, that would be great, because it gets cold in the swimming pool sometimes, doesn't it? So foam cups would be quite nice to have. I have gone completely rogue. The fabric on this costume is just as stretchy lengthways as it is crossways, so it has stretch and recovery in all the directions. So I have drawn around each pattern piece on the flat and flipped it over anywhere that I can get it to fit on the fabric. This goes against everything I know about sewing. It goes against everything I have ever learnt, but I've never sewn with swim fabric before, and this feels like really, really good quality. So it's an experiment, as I keep saying, it's an experiment, and it's gonna be fine. We're gonna have faith. We are gonna have faith it's going to be fine. I just made the rookiest of rookie errors, you guys, and having cut all the front bodice pieces out on the flat and then flipped them over to do the other side, I totally forgot that I would have to do that with the back piece, which goes this way. So I have only cut out 1/2 of the back, and there wasn't enough fabric on the main part of the swimsuit to cut the other half. The only piece of fabric that I had left was the sleeve piece, the flutter sleeve pieces. One flutter sleeve piece is not enough, but both of them together has created enough fabric. So I have stitched them together, and I can now get the other half of the back out of what's there. So I'm going to carry on because it's an experiment. And when you've got an idea in your head, you've got to see it through to the end, which is quite often where I fall short because I don't always see things through to the end. I come across problems or roadblocks and I give up. I am not going to give up this time. I'm going to keep going. I am going to do this, and it's either going to be amazing or it's not, but either way it is going to get done. Okay, I now have all the pieces cut out. Some of them are very, very hacked together. That is that sleeve, and I also had to do something rather shocking with the lining. So I ended up hacking up another swimsuit. This time it was a bikini top that yeah, we've got some more hacking up here. So this is definitely going to be a toile. Now, this is officially in toile territory. Anyway, now it's time to sew. So I'm going to sew together the outer and I'm going to sew together the lining, and yeah, let's hope for the best. We now have some sort of lining situation. So I used the power mesh, pieces of power mesh to construct the front, and then the ridiculously constructed swimsuit for the back of the lining. I also added a piece of elastic under the bust, and then I've also kept, this was the little pocket that you can insert the foam cups in on the swim top that I already had. So I've kind of kept this little hole here, this little gap, if I do decide I want to add foam cups inside as well. I can hopefully just about squeeze them through that gap there. So it's all kind of coming together. Now I just need to attach the lining to the main. I'm thinking I might need to top stitch around the top as well. And then it might be a swim top. We have something that resembles some kind of swim top, tankini style top. It is far from perfect, but I have top stitched all the way around the top edge of the top. I've also stitched in the ditch, so I've stitched the side seams of the outer to the lining just to keep that in place. So I'm going to go and try this on. I haven't hemmed it yet. I will probably come back and hem this a lot later, depending on whether or not this has worked. If it hasn't worked, I'm not going to waste my time hemming it, but we might have something workable. So I shall be right back. Never in a million billion years would I ever have thought that I would be standing in a tankini on YouTube, but here we are. It definitely has potential. I am so happy with how it has turned out. I have tried it on with the bikini bottoms, which as you can see are very high-waisted. I haven't hemmed it. I don't think I've got the length quite right. It's hitting in the wrong place, and because of my belly it does want to roll up, so it either needs to be longer or, so I've just tucked that in underneath the elastic band that I added, it kind of works. I'm very, very uncomfortable right now. There is definitely potential here. The addition of the elastic band underneath my bust has made a huge difference, but the seams aren't quite strong enough. As I was putting it on, a couple of the stitches popped. So there's definitely something to think about. I used a triple stretch stitch, which I thought was going to be strong and stretchy enough. Maybe I needed to make those stitches a bit wider, I'm not sure. It's also too high under my armpits as well. It's not uncomfortable, it's just a little higher than it should be, I think. And actually, I feel really, really secure. I haven't put the foam cups in. I don't think it actually needs it. I feel pretty comfortable and confident without them. The only other thing I might do is top stitch along the shoulder straps as well. But this was an experiment. I think it has paid off. There's definitely more to think about, more work to do, but there's a starting point here. And I think I could confidently purchase some nice, probably black swimsuit to go with the bottoms that I've got and work again and keep tweaking. What do you think? Let me know. Do you have a swimming costume pattern that you're like, Hayley, just get a proper pattern. This is the one for you. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on this experiment. I hope you have a fantastic day.